You're ready.
All right. Hello, guys. We are Group 1, and we're going to teach you how to be successful at your next job fair. Basically, we're going to go over the essentials, so your elevator speech, your verbal skills, your introduction and the handshake. Later, we're going to talk about the resume and other documents you might need, and finally, the networking available. So we'll take it away for Chris.
All right. So I'm doing an elevator speech and trying to show you what the good parts of an elevator speech look like. All right. So, hi, I'm Chris. I'm an aspiring actuary at UTD and planning on a 2021 graduation. I can code in C++ and I have prior management experience. I enjoy problem solving and making sure
Go back outside. You never come in when a presentation is going. Do you mind if we start again?
Yeah.
Or do you mind going ahead where you are?
I don't want
All right. Go ahead.
Keep going. All right. I can code in C++ and have prior management experience. I enjoy problem solving and keeping my team on track.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So next slide. So good elevator speech is 25 to 30 seconds. It starts with an introduction. Hi, I'm Chris. Go in for a handshake. What are you offering? How is that beneficial? How is that done? Purpose of your speech. So, I think I said.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the introduction post-elevator speech. A big part of that is going to be the handshake, or I'm not sure if you're going to do that before or after, but I'm going to sort of get into the fundamentals of the handshake. So, to start, you interlocute. You might not know that's what this part of your hand is called. I didn't know that till about Thursday. So, we're going to do that. We're going to act like this is someone else's hand. You're going to connect like that, and you want them to be touching, you see? Always connected. Always connected. All right, also, when you're in the handshake, you need to stay strong. Don't get bullied by this employer. If they just grab your hand and start shaking it, you stay firm. You do not let them push you around. You don't want to be seen as weak, but also don't fight back with them. Just try to conserve your dignity, I guess, if you want to say it like that. And then once you get past that, or still in the handshake, keep the eye contact, because I guess while you're going in, you can look at their hands so you don't miss, make sure you get that good connection. But after that, you need to look at them and let them know that you're shaking their hand and they know who you are off that handshake. Now, your first impression after the handshake. This is very important. I like to think of this as having a neat resume. Not a good resume, but a neat one. It gets you in there. It sort of lets them consider you as a candidate, which I think is very important. And also, try not to be overbearing with this first impression. We've all had experiences where someone in the group or the conversation has just been in your face and you just can't stand it. And you just wish that they would just calm down a little bit. And that this first impression is very important. And for an example we all can probably relate to, no offense to our awesome professor, but first day of this class, I was just, oh my God, another grindy course that I just have to get through. I can tell you what, I'm almost in my senior year. I've learned way more in this class than I have in any of my other courses my entire junior year, okay? So it's very important that your first impression sends off the correct message. And if the correct message is that you're not a very good person, maybe you shouldn't get the job. So after the first impression, sort of smile through the awkwardness. I mean, we're all there. At least awkwardness is goofy and funny, and you can laugh about it. Overbearing, people can be angry. Have you ever had an awkward conversation that was horrible. My whole day is ruined. I have to never talk to you. No one does. It's just oh my gosh, that was awkward. That was just weird. Okay, and then this is a personal example. One of my first interviews, went in, killed the handshake, perfect connection, felt like my elevator speech was great, hit all my points, but then the rest of the interview, he just sort of talked and didn't ask questions. He just sort of said open-ended statements, and it was kind of just, I didn't really know how to respond, and I just sort of sat there awkwardly. But it was great because afterwards he sort of made a joke about it. He's like, wow, maybe next time, we'll know each other better. And we were able to just giggle about it. And awkwardness. It's not a big deal. You smile through it. You'll get through it. It's not forever. And that's your introduction.
So next up, we're going to talk about the documentation you should bring to a job fair. Of course, you should have several copies of your resume on hand. I would also recommend a cover letter and a stack of business cards, and we'll see why for each of those on the next slide. Drafting the perfect resume. So what's on a resume? Well, you want to have your educational experience, your work history, and your leadership experience. And that's something employers really notice, those essential skills such as communication, leadership, problem solving. You want to make sure you have specific examples that you can speak to your resume on each of these topics. And finally, if you have trouble, perfecting your resume and finding it, there's a lot of places to go for help. We have the BCC, we have resume workshops, even just a friend or another peer can help you improve your resume. So a cover letter. A lot of people might be wondering, what's the point of a cover letter? Do people do those anymore? Well, I think they're kind of cool because you can really show and explain why you're a good fit for the company that you're interested in. Also, that's, again, expressing interest in the company, which makes them seem like you actually want to work for them. It's kind of like an extra thing on your resume, but you do want to keep it detail light. You don't want to have it as a copy of your resume. And finally, you want to create connections with business cards. So business cards are very practical. It's a practical contact, phone number, email. They also have the professional impression, make you seem very prepared, very professional. And it's a tangible exchange. They get to go home with a little souvenir, and it's a thing that they can remember you by. This is the ideal conversation you're looking for at the end of a job fair. Do you have a business card I can have? Of course. I look forward to being in touch. So
I'm going to talk a little about how to prepare for the job fair. Job fairs tend to be generally very stressful. There are huge crowds of people, a lot of companies attending, and you can be a little confused about what to do. So it's really important that you prepare beforehand, have a strategy, be organized, and know what to do. I'm going to talk a little about the 3 most important things that I think are: research the companies that are attending, have specific questions ready to ask, and always afterwards send a thank you or a follow-up email. So the first thing you need to do is make a list of the companies that are attending. So for example, for UTD, they're usually, whenever they have a job fair, they always post a list of the companies that are attending. So what you want to do is just pull up that list. However, with that list, there's usually over 100 companies that are coming. You don't have time to research all these companies. You want to shortlist the companies that you would want to work for that are relevant to you, what you're doing. So for example, I'm an actuarial science major. I'm going to look out for the insurance firms or the consulting firms. I'm going to look out for example, Blue Cross Blue Shield or Allstate or State Farm. So after you've shortlisted the companies that are relevant to what you're studying, you want to list them in an order of priority. You're going to start off with the ones that you think you would want to work for the most. When you have that list, when you put that in the order, you know what company you want to spend most of your time on talking to during your networking experience. Next, after you have that list ready, what you need to do is start researching these companies. You want to go online, you want to go on their websites, you want to find out what kind of projects they do, what kind of clients they have, what kind of work they do. Then you can use that information you find on their websites to prepare your questions. So when you're researching, you have to prepare your questions. So keeping in mind, always have very specific questions ready. You don't want to have a very general question. For example, like you go up to a company and you ask them, so like, what do y'all do? Like, it sounds like you're very unprepared. You don't know what you're doing. You just thought of the question on the top of your head and you said that. You want to think of a question. For example, I would say, so I was on your website and I saw that last year you did some XYZ project that I was interested in. With that project, I found XYZ interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about that? When you ask a question like that, you know, right off the bat, they think that, oh, this person took the time and effort to research our company. It shows that you're interested, shows that you're eager, and that's the kind of impression you want to give with that question. So after you have gotten the list of the questions ready, you're prepared to go to the job fair. Now, after you've successfully networked with the companies that you are interested in, You don't want to waste that time and effort you did networking. You want to have a lasting impression, because I'm sure these company representatives have talked to over 100 students, and you want yourself to stand out. So for that, you need to send out a follow-up email. And I would recommend sending it out a day after the job fair, because that's when they probably will remember you. So the structure of the follow-up email. You're going to start off with introducing yourself, like reintroducing yourself. Like, my name is Fizza, and I'm a junior agricultural science student. And talk about a little about what you talked to them about. When you do that, they'll kind of remember, oh, okay, so this is the person that I talked to this about. So it'll give them a faint memory of what you guys talked about earlier during the job fair. After that, you're going to state again your elevator speech, but in a more formal way in an email. You want to talk about, this is my experience, these are my qualifications, this is why I would be a good job fit for this company. After that, send them a quick thank you at the end. And the great thing is that you can use the similar email to different companies, just tailor it according to what you're doing, and you'll be all set.
Okay, so now that we've given you guys some tips on how to be successful at your next job fair, we're going to demonstrate some possible scenarios. Chris is going to show you how you might make a good impression.
So hi, I'm Chris. I'm an aspiring actuary at UTD, looking for a 2021 graduation date. I can code in C++ and have prior management experience. I have, I'm planning on the SOA exam, and I have, I do problem solving and keeping my team on track. All right.
So Chris, he knew what he was going to talk about. I don't remember this, but he's going to know what he's talking about. He's going to talk about himself, what he's interested in, have questions prepared, and then will show us the back impression.
Josh is my employer right here.
Here's the interview candidate.
Go with the handshake.
Whoa.
How you doing?
Whoa, what are you doing?
Are you an aspiring? Are you an actuary?
Yes.
I'm trying to be that.
You're trying to be an
I'm
actuary?
going to try to do that.
Okay, well, what are you doing to be an actuary?
I started looking at the exams. I think I'm going to try to take some of the exams. Maybe learn some programming languages. Stuff like that. Actuary
Okay.
stuff, risk stuff.
Actuary stuff. Okay, I see. All right, we'll get back to you, or maybe not.
So that was probably not a good way to introduce yourself. Didn't get his name either. Didn't know what he wanted to talk about or even what he wanted to do for a career. So,
All right.
thank you.
Any questions? Any questions? All right, thank you guys very much.
Okay, all right.